TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laura Beltonba, and on today's episode, we get the opportunity to chat with Brett and Brad from Therapy Below Zero, as well as Keith and Ashley, who are part of the Royal St. John's Regatta. So sit back, relax, and we'll get right to it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Brad Clark and Brett Bashara, who are going to be talking to me about this cool thing they got going on called Therapy Below Zero. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm really excited to have you here because I've seen your documentary and I was petrified. I'm like, we're going to be very honest. I'm someone who is cold adverse. So I think it's a very cool take on handling life. So I'm going to start, I guess, with you, Brad. How did this idea and concept come together for you?
So I first saw people in Newfoundland doing cold water immersion through social media, and I have a friend who's very into cold water immersion, and she was explaining to me how amazing it was for her energy levels, for her mental health. So my dad has had a rare back disease for his pretty well entire life since he's been 25. So he has lived his entire life in pain, and because of that has had mental health issues, anxiety, depression. So when I heard about cold water immersion and the benefits for mental health and physical health, so the first thing that came to my mind was, hey, this may be something that could help Dad. Okay. So I approached Dad about it. We talked about it. I showed him some videos, and he got really emotional over it because he's seeing this, a YouTube video of a story of this this guy who his life was just transformed by cold water immersion and cold water therapy. He lived a life of pain, just like my father. He started cold water therapy, and he just completely reversed his life. His mental health was improved, his physical health, the pain, everything was just improved. So upon, chatting with this about cold water therapy with Dad and about how it could help him, unfortunately, before we had a chance to try it for Dad, he passed away. So I didn't get the opportunity to kind of make an effect in Dad's life with cold water therapy. So I decided that, okay, this is something that obviously helps because there's just so many people who's into it. And upon watching videos and seeing, hearing stories and seeing friends, seeing things online, I said, okay, this is an important thing. Now I want to get the word out there that, hey, this is an option for people who are experiencing mental health issues, physical health issues, who are in pain, that there's an option here to try cold water therapy to help, with those issues. So I reached out to my friend who I knew was into it, and she said, I got a guy who's he's been practicing this for quite some time, and his name is Brent Bishara. And so I reached out to Brent, and I said, hey man, I want to get the word out there about this. I'm a filmmaker. I do a lot of video work, and I want to produce a documentary about cold water therapy, its mental health and physical benefits, and I want to get some people in the community here in Newfoundland and St. John's involved in the documentary. So I reached out to Brent, and he was just so on board with helping, right? So now here we are, a couple of years later. Took a little while because you can only film this really
in cold weather,
right? So it took us a few years to get everything we needed and to get the people together and to get the shots, to tell the story. But here we are, and it was a success, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So Brent, for you, how did you find cold water immersion? How did it become a thing you started taking part in?
Great question. Basically, I was in the military for 24 years. I served overseas, got back from Afghanistan in March of '04. Got out of the military in '07 and, started living life, had to deal with the creating my own identity again after leaving the military. But in 2015, my doctor, September 2015, she says, Brent, you're becoming pre-diabetic. And I was shocked at that. And so she says you might want to consider some lifestyle choices. Well, serendipitously, the very next month I saw Wim Hof on Joe Rogan's episode 712, and he's the Dutch man from the Netherlands called the Iceman. And he says because he can, he says we all can. And he talks about his 3 pillars of this Wim Hof method of mindset, gradual cold exposure, and breath work. So I went out to the pond, broke the ice with my broomstick and stood in it with my bare feet, and I thought my feet were on fire. This was crazy. I was a Navy diver for 18 of my 24 years. So, but for me, I was a victim of the cold. So I started taking up the method. There's a couple of courses you can take online. Took those, and then I went to Toronto, Poland, and Amsterdam because I was so interested in the method and became an instructor in the method for a year. But you have to recertify. I went, though, to learn it because the best way to learn something is teach it. I just wanted to do it for myself. And so I learned it. And I had to start a group of people to teach. They want you to do 6 classes before part 1 and 2. So I started the Newfoundland Winter Crew back in 2019. And now we have over 6,600 people. My doctor now says that it's 9 years later, and she says every year since then, my blood work has gotten better and better and better, to the point now I have the happy blood of an 18-year-old cheerleader. And she says that I'm the only person in her clinic, in her practice, that has turned pre-diabetes around. Oh, wow. So I'm happy for myself, but I'm really sad to hear that. So I'm hoping that through getting the word out, through this documentary, that we can see that if we take a little bit of commitment each day, take it in the face, a little bit each day, that we can turn things like pre-diabetes around, things like autoimmune issues like lupus, Lyme's, Crohn's, Addison, Hashimoto's, Raynaud's, COPD, diabetes, fibromyalgia. These things we can now delineate. Warning, there might be a little bit of work involved, but once we truly commit to that path is relatively short.
Wow. And so, Brad, for you, in the process of putting together this documentary, what were some of the moments that left you feeling like, okay, this is it, this is worth it?
Well, I was always, a hot shower, sauna type of guy. Cold water, not for me.
Feel you.
Not even getting a cold shower.
I'm sitting here in that train of mind, so
Right?
I get it.
Yeah, so I'm filming all this amazing energy, people doing cold water immersion, getting out, feeling so energetic. So even upon filming, I'm thinking, I'm still not doing it. So we filmed a segment, and then it was me and Brent left. We're chatting about the success of the shoot. Mm-hmm. And he says to me, now, when are you gonna come over and try it? Nah, man, not interested. come on, you need to try it. I know that, okay, I need to try it. But the fear was real, right? So I said, all right, I'll come back tomorrow and we'll do it.
Okay.
So I went home, told my wife, I'm going in the ice tomorrow. I went to sleep. Well, I'm going to sleep. I'm like, okay, I'm going in the ice tomorrow. I wake up the next morning. I whip out my phone. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not coming, man.
I'm not doing it.
So I was just about to send a message and call it off, and I said, no, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
One foot in front of the other. Come on, let's just do it. So I biked from CBS to Holyrood.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Worked up a good sweat, right?
So you were warm going into this.
And when I got to Brent's, we got prepared, and just before I got into water, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not getting in there, right? It's fearful.
Yeah.
It is, right? Mm-hmm. And then the moment that I submerged myself underneath the water, my breath was just hyperventilating, right? And I look into Brent's eyes, and we just lock on. And at that moment, he's like, breathe, breathe. Slow in through the nose, slow out through the nose. So I start breathing under his guidance, and then my whole body just started to relax. And I felt this euphoria come over me, and my body actually started heating up. Okay. I could feel my body heating up. And after that experience, like, it's life-changing. It really is. So I continue to practice cold water therapy from that moment onwards, just because of the energy levels and the feeling of your body adjusting and really adapting to the process.
I feel like the conversation we had earlier, Brent, means that I might be calling you once it gets cold to try this. Petrified, I'm not biking from CBS to Holyrood to get warm.
We can do the ocean. It's cold enough.
Okay, we might be having a conversation about this later.
Very good.
But I got you folks for just about one more minute before we end this episode. But I want to know, for people who want to find out more, who want to watch this documentary, who want to maybe begin to do the prep work before they call you to submerge into cold water, where do we find out more information? How do we get to see this?
So you check out therapybelowzero.com. Mm-hmm. Right now we're doing a film screening coming up soon, next week actually, and there's still a few tickets left. So you can follow Therapy Below Zero on socials, on Facebook, or check out the website. And the film will be released online within the next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you folks for joining me. I'll be seeing you somewhere cold for an immersion sometime soon.
Right on.
I will make a promise, and this will exist on camera, so you can pull me on this later.
Right on.
But I want to thank you both for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks so much, Laura.
Thanks for having us.
I'll be right back, everyone.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Keith White and Ashley Peach, who are with the Royal St. John's Regatta. Folks, thanks for joining me.
Happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. And this time it's not on Regatta Day. So I have all your time and all your attention for the first time ever. I'm so excited to have both of you joining me. So for our viewers who already know what Regatta is, there are some big changes coming up this year. So I guess we'll start with Ashley. What's the first big change coming to the regatta this year?
For this regatta this year, we've introduced a new race category. So it's called the Open Crew category, and it's a gender neutral category. So individuals can register a team, and we don't look at the composition of the team. It's 6 rowers getting together, getting in the boat, and being able to take to the water.
Okay, oh, that's so cool because like all the other races are gendered. So this one is if you're willing to row and you got a boat, go forth.
Yes.
Okay, that should be exciting. So there should be some people who maybe have never rowed before, some non-binary folks who are deciding to take up rowing who might now be part of our regatta broadcast.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so
that's our
exciting.
goal, yes.
And so Keith, you and I were chatting earlier, and this is the year of what exactly?
So this is the 207th running of the Royal St. John's Regatta, also known as the Year of Sport Royal St.
Okay.
John's Regatta. We've partnered with the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador and the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts and Recreation this year. They've come on board as a major sponsor of the regatta, and part of that sponsorships include the naming rights, hence the Year of Sport Royal St. John's Regatta. They'll also be contributing to some infrastructure, some work around the boathouse that desperately needs to be done. They'll also be contributing to our medals, and we'll also be having a Regatta Eve concert. So on
Okay.
Tuesday, the 29th of July, weather pending, of course, we'll have a Regatta Eve concert that will consist of Shakana, the Irish Descendants, and the Masterless Men. So that's going to happen lakeside, and it's going to be free, of course.
Yes.
So more details will come out about that in the coming weeks and months. And we've piggybacked off the last couple of years, and we anticipate it's going to be a big turnout, as always. It's become a little bit of a tradition to walk the lake on Regatta Eve, see friends that you haven't seen since the last Regatta Eve. And we're encouraging all your viewers to, of course, come out and take part and enjoy the music.
And the most important part, this is where Regatta Roulette will be played.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are your calls? I know it's way early, like we
Yeah.
are months out of this, but what are your calls?
Well, what happens is, for your viewers who don't know how this works, is that the Regatta Committee, just after 5 o'clock on Regatta Day, convene a meeting, a private meeting in the boathouse, and we will review the weather forecasts that have been provided to us by local meteorologists, and we will put a motion forward to go or no go, and then shortly thereafter, we will make the official call, and people will find out shortly if they get the day or not.
Okay, so for everyone who's watching, roulette safely.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's other changes going on this year. So regatta typically takes place on the first Wednesday of August. That's not the go for this year. What's going on? We have some shifts.
Yes, with the 2025 Canada Games, canoe kayak will be hosted on Kitty Vitty Lake. So in order to help accommodate preparations and Canada Games, the Regatta Committee graciously agreed to host Regatta Day a week earlier, so July 30th, 2025. So yeah, it's great, exciting that people from outside the province will be able to take in all the great atmosphere down at Kitty Vitty Lake.
So we will have like the course is like we all go to regatta to watch the rowers and everything, but the garden party is also where it's at. So is it last year was like a packed garden party with the summer games going on just right after? It's going to be an extra packed garden party for us this year.
Yes, there's so much great events going on around St. John's this summer. So certainly Regatta Eve and Regatta Day with the ground space, it will be another great opportunity for people to take in.
That's awesome. So Keith, I know technically you are vice president of the Royal St. John's Regatta, but you're also something the course.
Vice President and Captain of the course.
Okay, what does captain of the course actually mean?
Captain of the course, maybe Ashley can tell you. I'm still figuring it out. Captain of the course primarily is you are the captain of the course. You do a lot of the scheduling, you deal with the rowers, you put the motion forward on Regatta Day to go or no go.
Okay.
Very powerful job.
So you're the responsible one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, never ever has that been said about me before. But thank you for the compliment.
No worries. But for you, have you rowed in the regatta?
I'm not a rower.
Okay.
I've never been a rower. Very few presidents. The way it works is vice president, captain of the course, theoretically moves up into the presidency. Very few presidents have never been rowers. I believe maybe one or two.
I'm not sure, but chief organizer over
Chief,
here.
yeah, chief bottle washer.
Okay.
So it'll be a first.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've never been a rower. Always attended the regatta. Grandmother grew up on Forest Road. Big part of my childhood. As Ashley said, a bit of an organizer. That's my background. So very logistics driven. That's the regatta in essence. So I was happy to get involved a number of years ago and move up the ranks, and here I am today, Ashley's loyal servant.
Assistant to the chair.
100%.
So what would it take to get you in the boat?
I'd gladly do it after this commitment is over.
Okay, and Ashley, and you have been a rower before. So As
very
someone-
good rower.
A very good rower. Which was are you partial? I know usually this was 2 years ago was, I guess, the first time women did the long course. So as someone who's typically rode what they call the shorter course, have you ever rode the long course just for fun?
Only in training sessions
Okay.
have I ever rode the long course. So I am not familiar, with the grueling aspects of getting down into those
The turns.
turns and then coming up from the long course kegs and down around what we always look at, like the where the old rugby pitch was or the dog park, those grueling areas of the pond. No, I'm not familiar with, but and I don't think I ever will be.
You're not interested in doing the whole back and forth thing.
That won't be for me, no.
Okay.
But I'm certainly happy to be giving back to the rowing community and to be able to help kind of continue to grow the love of fixed seat rowing.
Okay, so for our viewers who, let's say, are new to the province, new to Canada, and maybe don't know what the regatta is, we assume that of most people, if you've lived in St. John's, you've lived in Newfoundland, you're aware of the Royal St. John's Regatta. But for those who are new to us, what is this and how did it become such a cultural phenomenon?
It's a unique sport to Newfoundland with fixed seat rowing because our seats don't move. So slide seat rowing is quite popular everywhere else around the world. So this is where our boats are a little bit different with the seats not moving. As well as in slide seat, everyone is in line right behind each other. However, our boats are wider and everyone is sat staggered. So there's 3 on one side of the boat and 3 on the other side of the boat, as well as the coxswain and the steering the boat. So that's kind of where it all, how I guess the big difference is, again, the boats are significantly larger than the slide seat boats. So certainly this has been going on for such a long time. It's a great part of history, and we're also really eager to be able to kind of bring new opportunities to fixed seat rowing, hence with the new race categories this year, or the opportunity to row on different course lengths. And as well this year, the other new addition is we have modified the rules so an individual can row in the open category, and as well being able to participate in our previous categories that we had. So in past, an individual is only able to row with 1 crew. So now this year there is the opportunity to be able to row in 2 races, pending their category selections. So it's a great opportunity for people who have wanted to be able to row with a sibling or with a partner or with rowing friends they've known for a long time. So it's a great opportunity to help continue growing the sport.
Okay, as someone who gets to help broadcast this, I'm now super excited to see like the team lineups and see who's rowing with who, and see like we always talk about the relations of like this person has rowed for these many years, they've rowed with these teams for this many years. So it'll be interesting to see how that switches up now with the new open course. So for you, Keith, what is your favorite aspect of the Royal St. John's Regatta?
I just like the general excitement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's Ashley and I now have gotten to know each other the last couple of years, and for me, like, yeah, I love Regatta Day, I love Regatta Eve, but for me, one of my favorite times leading up to the regatta is the Saturday and the Sunday. That's my background. It's organization. It's the prep work. I love that stuff. And that's we get together the weekend before. We put the tote bags, the kit bags together for the rowers. We shine up the trophies. We make sure the boats are in good order. So it's all those little things leading up to Regatta Day. And then when Regatta Day comes here, it's kind of like we've been doing this, the Royal Weed, for 207 years. It's kind of like a fine, a well-oiled machine at the moment. Yeah. So it doesn't, I won't say it runs itself, but like once all the committee members, the 50-person committee is in place and everyone's doing their job, it gets done.
And so for viewers who are watching now who say want to be involved in the regatta, are there spaces for people to volunteer to help put off this magical event, or is it more come in and see and enjoy and relax for a minute kind of thing?
So we have a 50-person volunteer committee, everybody from different backgrounds, everybody has something different to offer, of course, and we have a pretty fulsome committee at the moment. There's not a lot of vacancies, but from time to time we do an expression of interest, a call, and we'll usually post that to our website or social media and say, hey, we're looking for new people, we're looking for people with skill set A, B, and C. If this is you, by all means, fill out the application, submit it. We'll take it under consideration, and we'll go from there. Okay. But really, what we're looking for is people who have diverse backgrounds, people who can bring something to the table. Not necessarily are we looking for rowers, lawyers, accountants, people who organize. It's a wide variety of people, skill sets that we're looking for. It's a very rewarding experience. Everybody gets along. It's one big happy family, sometimes dysfunctional, but we love it, and it's a very rewarding experience. And for those viewers out there that perhaps are interested, by all means, they can get in touch with us, visit our website, stjohnsregatta.ca. Contact information is listed there. And by all means, we'd welcome your support and participation.
Okay, and so could you go say the website a little bit slower this time so people know where to find it?
For
because
sure.
They have all the information.
stjohnsregatta.ca.
And socials, do you know?
We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, all the same, St.
Okay.
John's Regatta. Quick Google search, you'll find all that as well. And by all means, get in touch. That applies to vendors, prospective vendors, ground space people for Regatta Day. If they're interested in setting up on Regatta Day, all that information is listed on our website as well. And by all means, we'd be welcome to have you.
Okay, and if you have one parting message for our viewers, Ashley, what would it be?
It's certainly to stay tuned for Regatta Day. Obviously, weather pending on July 30th. It will be great excitement and a great opportunity to celebrate Year of Sport in the Royal St. John's Regatta.
I want to thank you both so much for joining me, and I will see you, go or no go, in July.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, folks. And we'll be right back, everyone. I want to give a very special thank you to all of you for tuning in yet again, and a very special thank you to my guests. I think I'm going to have to learn how to do a cold immersion now, thanks to the team at Therapy Below Zero, and I'll catch you all soon at the Royal St. John's Regatta. See you all next time.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
I am Gagwag. My name means everything.
Tom Longboats.
I am Wolf Clan, Onondaga Nation. I've run many different races. I've run to survive and to be free. I've run to win for honor.
His people might be lazy, but this one's damn fast.
My people respected our runners, people who carried important messages from village to village.
I need a guide to the next post. Dispatch carrier, sir. I can get you there.
God's sakes, man, slow down. Who do you think I am, Tom Longboat?
No, sir. I am.
Running makes me feel alive. It's everything.
Tom Longboat was the first Indigenous person to win the Boston Marathon. He ran his way to international fame and became an inspiration to generations of athletes.
It's time to get a little messy.
Thursdays, Top Chef.